I wanted to talk a little bit about energy medicine and give you a very brief understanding of what energy medicine is, considering that there are a few of you in this program who have never really encountered energy medicine and may hear me speak about it from time to time, and it really does help to understand what it is. So my understanding of energy medicine has come through many years of practicing it and understanding it on a physical, a mental, emotional, and a spiritual level. The practices of energy medicine are quite literally everything in your life. We think that it's separate from us, that it is a particular style of medicine. And whilst that is true to a certain extent, it is not the whole, it's not the whole picture. So energy medicine is basically the manipulation and supporting of your energy system, which is to say the energy channels that run through the body, the data banks, the chakras, or the energy centers that reside within the body. We look at the meridians, the acu-points in the body, and also the auric layer, the emotional, mental, the physical, and then also the etheric bodies that live from the physical outwards. The idea that energy is separate from us is where it becomes a little bit ludicrous, because we are made up of energy, which is to say that we conduct energy, energy runs through us, it runs within each and every cell of our body. And without a free-flowing energy system, we may feel contracted, stagnated, and almost a little bit listless and lustless in life. Like we've got no joy de vivre, nothing that we really want to get out of bed for. And that's from an emotional perspective. So the way that we generally teach energy medicine is from the outside in, which is to say the skin, this physical body that you have is the outside, and inwards is where we actually go. So we look at practices like Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga. We look at within those lineages and structures, we look at breath work. We look at mantra, which is the sound that comes from your mouth. We look at mudra, which is hand gestures, a placement of fingers against fingers to bring about stronger energetic flow. We look at acupressure, so pressing on particular points on the physical body to stimulate energy within those channels. We can do massage, we can do lymphatic drainage, we can do gua sha, like anything that helps move energy from the movement of your physical body. This is one of the easiest ways to move energy, in my opinion, because you just do it. That's it. Like you just move your body from one point to another. You do one pose and then another. And what my clients generally find quite interesting is that yoga in itself, from my perspective, is not even about being a perfect yogi and doing a perfect set of sequences. It's actually about placing the body in shapes that allow for energetic flow to move through the body easier. Once you learn that, once you've heard that, maybe you might relate to your yoga practice a little bit differently, because it's definitely not the acrobatics kind of yoga, the athletic yoga that we have been introduced to in the West. So I want you to consider that yoga is really the word in Sanskrit, which means union, which is to say that you are yoking, bringing many parts of you into one. You're bringing the mental, emotional, physical parts of you and the self and the soul and Atman, which is universe, God, source. We're bringing that all into one beautiful union. And so by practicing yoga, the technique of yoga, you're actually allowing this movement of energy through the body, through the manipulation of your physical body, and allowing it to land in certain shapes. we always used to say, when I first opened my business, my very, very first tagline was, come for your body, stay for your soul. And I used to teach yoga, whether it be online or in studios. And the one thing I used to say was that people are drawn to yoga because they think it's a physical practice, which it is. But you soon realize that it's really about so much more than that. And that's the first place that generally people get hooked on energy medicine. Now, there are many different forms of yoga. One of the things that has been really helpful for me is using yoga as therapy, which is a modality called yoga therapy, where you actually support the physical body, the actual physiological responses, the digestive system, the immune system, all these sorts of things through the practice of yoga. All of this is energy medicine. Then we go to the emotional body, which is all of your emotions. Now, the emotional body and the mental body, which are all your thoughts, interrelate and intertwine, and they work together very, very closely. The idea that you have a thought that creates a chemical reaction in your brain, which lands and lodges itself in the body as an emotional experience, they cannot happen without the other. So your thoughts create the emotions. And then generally what happens is it circles round and the emotion then recreates the thought. So an example of this would be, I am nervous about giving a speech to my classmates, and that creates nervous tension in my body. I feel the nervous tension in my body and I start to think thoughts that there's something unhealthy with me. And then that creates even more nervous tension. And then that creates even more unhealthy thoughts, and round and round and round we go. That in itself is an energetic reaction. And as you can see from that example, it's not an expansive experience. You actually contract and become worried and fearful. Now, the idea is that we create sequences and tools and techniques to help expand the energetic force within the physical realm, which is to say we open ourselves up energetically to receive guidance from universal source, from universal intelligence, and also from our soul. But also, very, very practically, the thoughts that you think will rule your life, and that will send out an energy. The emotions you feel will rule your body, and that will send out a certain frequency. And so everything that you can think is electrical, and everything that you can feel is vibrational. So thoughts send electrical signals out into the field, and feelings magnetize those emotions back to you. When you use thoughts and emotions as part of your energy medicine routine or lifestyle, you supercharge energy medicine by, I don't know, millions, thousands, quadruple, 1,000, million, all of the numbers. The reason is because we often think that just get the healthy body and get energy flowing through the physical body. Yeah, sure. But I mentioned earlier, you have a thought that sends an electrical signal out. Not only does it send it out into the field, but that thought creates a neurochemical that makes its way through the body. So your thoughts and your emotions live within your body. Your body is a map for everything you've ever thought and felt. And so when you start to move your physical body, you may feel emotions that come up. You may feel thoughts that you haven't had for ages come up. And if you are diligent enough, devoted enough to work through those happenings, you will find yourself a clearer vessel to create change, not only in your own life, but in the lives of those you love. So what is energy medicine? It's the bringing together of the 4 aspects of self and using all of those aspects of self to cleanse and clear your energy system so that you can be a clear vessel for light. You use the physical body, you adore the physical body, you tend and nurture the physical body. You take care of your thoughts. You cleanse and clear your mind. You learn how to control the monkey mind. You sit in meditation or mantra practice and you tend to the mind. You understand your emotions, or at least try to. You cleanse and clear your emotional body by getting rid of anything that doesn't serve you anymore, any guilt, unforgiveness, resentment, anything that you're holding in the body that doesn't actually support you in this here now moment needs to go, because it's creating weight in your psychic field. And all of that together creates this spiritual and energetic experience that is energy medicine. And so there is a blog post which I will place as a link in this portal as well for you to read. I wrote it a couple of weeks ago, really about the 4 contributing factors to you and who you are and why they're so important. And it really does stem from this conversation as to what is energy medicine and why do we use it? Like, where is it important? Why is it important? Everything that we're doing in this program is energy medicine. We're working with concepts, ideas, beliefs, and systems to help cleanse and clear our field so that we can become better versions of ourselves. And so I really hope that that helps to clarify what energy medicine is, to demystify what energy medicine is. Because here's the thing, right? One of my pet peeves is where people try to create this mystical thing about energy medicine and like, oh, it's only about smoke signals and you have to be the chosen one in order to know and understand and use it. BS. That's the biggest load of shit I've ever heard. The thing is that we're all using energy medicine anyway. We have different degrees to which we use it. There are different levels. Yes, absolutely. First, you learn about the physical. This is the matter. This is the most dense form of energy. Then you move through the emotional, then the mental. And once you're sort of on the path of that, you start to understand. And this is where it gets really mystical and some people get a little bit deluded. But the truth is that your eyes can only see a maximum of 1% of what's true and what's real in life. And so you start to understand that there's a lot of other things that are going on in your experience that you cannot see, but that exist. So for example, Wi-Fi, you cannot see it, but you can use it and it exists. Yeah. And so you start to learn how to call on allies and energies that are already around you, that are just asking for you to call on them. And through understanding yourself better and understanding your own energy system, you get to understand what's happening around you. The thing is that some people will try and understand what's happening around them first. They'll try to get all woo-woo and call in spirits and all of these sorts of things. The reality is that it's only, you're only doing it like a quarter of the work, because you have to really understand yourself on a deep, intimate level first before you start working with all these energies, only because how do you know the difference between what's yours and what's not then? You know, like someone asked me once, how do you know, like this is one of my advanced students in Lessons in Truth. She said to me, how do you know that it's your guide speaking with you? This is part of a very long conversation, but that was just a snapshot question. And I was like, because I know what's mine. I know what I feel like fully, wholly, and completely. And I can sense when that doesn't come from me. Basically, I know my own stuff. I know my own stuff really well. I know my emotional hangups. I know my mental glitches. I know myself really well. So when something comes in and I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? 9 times out of 10, it's something else that I'm picking up in the space. And it's either there for me to transmute and alchemize, or to address and support. So this comes up a lot when I'm actually in physical healing sessions, or in distant healing sessions as well, where I will be picking up something that I know I need to speak to the person about. Once I had someone that came into my session, and she was lying on, we were doing a healing session, and I tapped on the shoulder and I was like, hey, do you need the loo? She's like, oh my goodness, yes, I do. How did you know? I was like, because I can feel it in my body. I can feel that you need to quickly zip to the bathroom before we start with our session. And so that's just an example of how these energies can actually speak through us. And if we become very clear on what it is that we represent, who we are, how we feel, how we think, then when there's something that's different from that enters into our field, we become very clear that it's not us. We know it's not us, and we can work with that accordingly. Yeah, so this is all part of energy medicine.